I teach constellation mapping. I teach constellation dating. And I can tell you, constellation mapping, constellation dating, it is 100% accurate. It's more accurate than probably anything that you're gonna run across here on the earth. And the only thing, or the only reason why a lot of people may walk away from it thinking that it's not perfect, or thinking that it's buffoonery, is because people and people's situations and circumstances are not always perfect. You know, everybody's not nurtured correctly, you know, and when you're not nurtured correctly, it's like a disease. It just gets passed down from generation to the next generation, to the next generation, to the next generation, until one generation decides to break the curse or break the cycle. And unfortunately, that just doesn't happen as often as it should, or we would, like,
So you end up with a broken person, and you don't know it.
Yeah. Well, you don't know it, but there are, ways and methods.
And you attribute all of their faults to their Scorpio, or their this, or their that.
Well, I attribute the faults. To how they were nurtured. Because
what I'm saying, what happens is then we not knowing what you just said. All I know is, he was a Scorpio.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking all this time, it was the fact he was a Scorpio and nothing got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's very interesting because there are a lot of men I see on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and I get it. You're born, October 31st, you're Scorpio. You're born, January 2nd, you're Capricorn. And this is what you identify as. And I get it, never probably, you've never heard that your mother is the foundation of all your behaviors. This is new. It was new to me. I identify myself as a Scorpio. I'm October 31st, I'm Halloween. That's Scorpio season. Everybody knows this. But anybody that's a Scorpio knows that you're very sensitive, you're very emotional. It's very easy to get your feelings hurt. And you live in a world of your feelings and emotions. Everybody that's a Scorpio knows this, but I know this, but there was this other side of me that's strong, rooted, grounded, structured, military, we don't go with the flow. We march to the beat of our own drum. Where does that come from? And I always felt like two different people. And I started looking at myself from my mother. My mother, she's a Capricorn. She's strong.
So you first figured that out on yourself?
Yeah.
Before anybody else?
Yes, you have to look at yourself first. And in order to understand what I'm talking about, in order to understand all of this, you have to begin with you. Let's just take air natures, for instance, right? So I know that in life, I tend to have different type of interactions, and I have different feelings towards people that are air natured. And I just noticed that, like a Gemini, like a Gemini man, when he tells you something, you gotta dig a little deeper. You gotta ask some more questions, But I noticed that when I was dealing with a Gemini woman, she was very open. She was very honest. You know, she just seemed more truthful than the man, you know. And I just noticed that when the natures are coming through, you know, the male vessel and the female vessel, it's a stark difference. Because like if you take a Scorpio male and you put them up against, you know, a female Scorpio, it's like night and day. Even though they're both easygoing, relaxed, and chill, the female,
The night and day part, how you know it ain't got nothing to do with the girl's mother?
No, it has nothing to do with the girl's mother, because the female version of the Scorpio is much more aggressive, much more alert, much more like in
How
tune.
about the girl's father?
No, this is a woman, so you gotta remember that when you're dealing with women, women are designed to nurture kids. They're designed to have children. And so when you look in nature, you'll see where majority, when it comes to mammals, you'll see where the mother she really takes the lead role. I mean, she really is the one that feeds the child. She protects the child. She teaches the child how to hunt. It's very rarely that it's the father. You know, so the mother has the majority of the influence, you know, over the child. So, but when it comes to the difference between men and women is, when we go and we look in science, men share the same mitochondria as their mother. But girls, if the woman has girls, they only share traces. And then when we translate that into human behavior, you'll see where the son and the mother, their behaviors are almost identical to an extent. The only difference is coming through a male vessel, and he might be born under a different constellation other than she, but the foundation of their behaviors are like exactly the same. And I found that in girls, only when the girl has a like nature of her mother, or they have reciprocity in between their natures.
Capricorn's,
like Capricorn, Pisces, or like a Cancer, Taurus, a Virgo, Scorpio. Only then when they will be like really close. But if it was like a Scorpio, Aries, it'd be conflict. If it was a Taurus, Aquarius, it'll be a conflict, you know. So like these are not things that I'm just making up. You know, these are things that a lot of people that are probably listening to this broadcast right now can identify with. You know, these are things that you can go out and actually experience for yourself if you haven't experienced it already. You know, I speak from experience. You know, I wouldn't come on social media, I wouldn't be doing videos if I didn't have some type of credibility, if I didn't have some type of evidence, because I really don't have to do this. But I see it. I see it as plain as day. I've been living it my whole life, just like everybody else. Everybody else has been living, you know, constellation mapping, constellation. They've been living it all their life. You know, I'm just putting a definition on it. I'm just helping to define it, just as somebody had to help me define it, you know?
You said evidence. Your evidence is what you've seen.
Yeah, the evidence is what I've seen. The evidence is what I know. Because I've done the research. The research is the people. You know? The research is the people. the people that I'm around every day, the people that I work with, the people that I interact with that just ringing up my groceries or just ringing me up at Home Depot, the Uber driver that picks me up. It's all the same thing.